Ethereum is the newsfeed we deserve. Ethereum is a better publishing platform than any of its Web 2 counterparts. Like Facebook or Twitter, it's globally distributed, has no geographical headquarters, and has nobody in charge. Ethereum won't delete, hide, or algorithmically reshuffle posts. Its newsfeed is the block order, but it won't block certain politically loaded topics. Its operator's incentive is making money through transaction inclusion, not running ads. Ethereum rejects the concept of content curation and moderation. Publishing on Ethereum is as close as it gets to shouting your words in the air when surrounded by others. Ethereum is the publishing platform we deserve. The tale of three webs. There's the tale of the web's evolution among people in the industry. You've probably heard it a million times by now, but how it goes is that Web 1 was read-only, and Web 2 added publishing or write. With Web 3 emerging through the advances of distributed systems, everyone has to have their opinion about it, me included. But Moxie Marlinspike, the founder of Signal, published his first impressions of Web 3 at the beginning of this year and caught my attention. A central thesis of his piece is that people don't want to run their own servers and never will. The story he relays is that Web 2's platforms emerged to fill the Web 1 user's desire to stop running their own infrastructure. And to unpack that, I want to empathize with his viewpoint. Running web servers in times of Web 1 was indeed truly cumbersome. There were no cloud providers, internet connections were shit, and web development tooling as we know it wasn't existent. Moxie makes this argument as it fits his central thesis that the ecosystem is moving. He's saying, we're already upgrading the web with protocols that omit to collect metadata to solve the social dilemma. The product they publish, the Signal Messenger for example, provided no meaningful data to the Central District of California, stating that Signal still knows nothing about you, but inexplicably, the government continues to ask us. So, by upgrading from Web 2.0 to Web 2.1, as Moxie suggests, can we pack up and move on from building cryptocurrencies? He solves the social dilemma? Is that it? The public-facing Web 2. The problem with Moxie's behavior and article is that he didn't stay in his lane. Signal isn't truly a Web 2 platform, in the sense of Facebook, Twitter, and Telegram. Within a chat on Signal, Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, Twitter, or any other instant messenger, for that sake, nobody gets centrally moderated or shut down. I'd assume you can speak freely in private conversations. The problem being in that case, who else is reading the conversation? Talking to you, Mr. FBI agent. Here, privacy is at risk, and Signal's protocol is a brilliant fix. However, I'd like to argue that instant messaging, except for how Telegram implements it, isn't really contested as a societal problem. The societal problem that leads people to give conference talks, go on podcasts, and write blog posts is big tech's active curation of public discourse on news feeds. Case in point, Facebook allows Ukraine war posts urging violence against invading Russians. Taking on responsibility. Hence, rhetorically scrutinizing once again Moxie's original thesis, if people don't want to run their own servers and never will. I'd like to assume that in the general case, it's incorrect. Indeed, would I, as a nerd, be asked to administrate a server running the Signal protocol for friends and myself? I'd say yes, immediately. It's because Signal still knows nothing about us, and so it'd seem unlikely having to take on substantial responsibility. But Signal also doesn't host a publicly accessible digital room as, for example, Telegram's channels or Facebook's newsfeed do. Would I want to contribute to hosting the Facebook newsfeed? And for that sake, would I want to take on responsibility for shaping public discourse? Back in the old Web 1 days, people had guest books and comment sections on their pages. Nowadays, they don't. But it's not because nobody wants to host their servers. It's because of the heavy responsibility of doing so. It must be the reason they say that you either die an MVP or live long enough to build content moderation, and I believe that's true. Ethereum is the newsfeed we deserve, and so that's why Web 3 is taking off. That's why it has fans and node operators. Sure, it isn't very pleasant running an Ethereum full node and currently costs me roughly 130 EUR a month, but it guarantees that worldwide, whoever wants can publish whatever they want on-chain if they just pay the transaction costs. Smart contracts are the programmable commons. While traditional Web 2 platforms like Facebook are built on the assumptions of privately owned property and require taking on responsibility, Ethereum is collectively maintained, hosted, administrated, and run by everyone. There's no sorting for relevancy or increasing ad impression revenue. There's no moral or social dilemma stemming from having total control over others' communication. Node operators may be biased, but Ethereum is neutral. Vitalik tweets, "Reminder, Ethereum is neutral, but I am not. That's why Ethereum is the newsfeed we deserve."